Hello, viewers. This is Moment with PJ. My name is Udochukwu Kenihoma. I'll be your anchor for today's program. Today, we'll be talking about how to support one with anxiety or depression. I have here with me PJ to help us talk about how depression affects the life of so many of our youth today. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me, Queen.
Sir, depression is a kind of a mood disorder that we
Mm,
find in so many of our youths today
yeah,
that causes emotional disability, and they see themselves doing things that they ought not to be.
that's true.
So it has become rampant
Mm.
in these our days. We keep hearing some people jump into lagoon,
People,
severally
people taking
people
their
taking
lives.
their lives, committing suicide, wanting to drink one thing or the other. I want to ask you now, what do you think can make a young, vibrant person fall into depression?
Well, I think depression for me is an offshoot of hopelessness.
Hmm.
When you look at the situations around you and there is no way, you think, according to you, there is no way out of it, depression starts. Because what takes us out of depression basically is when there is hope in every situation. And so when there is that hopelessness in what we're going through, what comes to your mind is, oh, let me end it. Okay? So it's a product of hopelessness in situations, lack of trust in the system, lack of trust and disbelief of the people around us. And so you just left it, okay, nothing is happening. Okay? Like you said, it's a psychological disorder that makes us believe that there is no reason to be alive.
Hmm.
Honestly speaking, people react to shock, to challenges differently.
Finally.
Okay, so people get depressed based on the impact of what they don't expect. People get depressed based on the impact of what they don't expect. You can imagine a loving couple, a man always there for his wife. Suddenly, the man mood changed,
Hmm.
and the next thing is asking the wife to pack out of his life and house. She never saw it coming. So that news hit the woman like a thunderbolt. Her mind will be shattered. So when what we don't expect hit us, we tend to be depressed. Of course, there are about three levels of depression. Okay.
Okay.
But basically, when what you don't expect hits you, you may fall into depression. And that is why we tell people before things come, prepare.
I wanted to say that because
Yeah.
as humans, we should always prepare our mind for the unexpected. And so you shouldn't
Yeah,
make
we don't expect the unexpected,
unexpected. Okay.
but you should get to a stage in your life where you have, like in a car, the shock absorber.
Okay.
All right. And so a lot of things can build that shock absorbing mentality in us. While we feel pain from what we don't expect, it does not degenerate into depression that takes us into hopelessness.
Hmm. Okay.
But when we do what you don't expect from people you don't expect, can make you get depressed.
Is there any evolutionary explanation to this?
No, there is no evolutionary, neither is it hereditary. Okay, it is a product of happenings, unexpected happenings, unprepared for, more especially from the quarters or from the persons we don't expect them to come from. All right,
Okay.
so people get depressed from people they build high hopes upon, trust and confidence on, that suddenly betray their trust, and so wow, they are hit.
Hmm.
There is some don't recover from it. Some never become stable afterwards. Some go to the extent of taking their life because it came from a quarter they
That they
never
least
expected.
expected.
Yes. So an enemy doesn't take you to depression.
Hmm.
No. A known enemy can't take you to depression.
It's actually someone you
A
love and
friend,
trust.
a friend can.
Hmm.
A trusted ally,
Amen.
a bloodline, those you share bloodlines with,
Hmm.
those you have an emotional attachment with. those you've shared one or two things with, all right, it can cause depression. Also, it can also come from life's happening. You are a very studious person, very hardworking worker, and there's a downtime in your office of all the persons they are dropping you. You had the results going for you. You're making impact in your office. Nobody would have expected that you should be dropped from your office. And suddenly, your name was number one on the list of staff to be laid off. Unexpected happenings from unexpected place can shatter one.
Thank you very much, sir. Um, some depression. You said there are three forms of depression.
Levels actually.
Levels of okay. Is any of them? Can any of them be treated medically?
All the stages, all depression generally can be handled.
Medically or with
No,
therapy?
no, no, because it is not medical. Because depression is not a medical problem.
Okay.
It's a psychological disorder. So it's a mind problem. So you need a mind doctor to help you.
Mm.
You need a psychologist. You need a counselor or a therapist to help you. You don't need a medical doctor for that. You need a mind doctor because it's a mind problem.
Okay, so now when you sense this depression in someone maybe very close to you, what will you do as at that time to support?
Okay, it's like saying how to treat somebody.
With depression.
Number one, you have to show empathy. Empathy is like trying to put yourself in their place. Okay. At that point, try as much as you can not to be judgmental. Because what might take them to depression may not take you to depression. For example, she had a heartbreak from the guy she loves, and you are saying, "Are you okay? You are doing this for a guy? Are you crying for a man? Are you sick?" You don't do that at that point because we respond to situations differently. So you must show empathy. Try to imagine yourself in that situation. Okay, that is if it's just starting. Try to be there for them and try to speak good words of assurances with them. Eliminate being judgmental. Eliminate it.
That scenario.
Please eliminate it. And you can also create an avenue where they see reason to be alive, where they see reason to be happy. You must try to know what makes them happy and try to do them. Just try to put them in a joyful, joyous mood. Take them for one outing, take them for picnic, take them for carol service, all those. Just take them out of their shell, basically.
Okay.
Let them change that environment and the scenario that keeps reminding them of what happened. So take them to situations where they tend to forget what it is cause the depression. Try to see if you can bring them to happy mood where they can talk, laugh, just like a distraction from their thoughts. All right? Did you get that?
Yes, I did.
Distract their thoughts. That's what it meant.
Okay. And now, are there some important facts about depression that most people don't know about?
Everybody can be depressed. Everybody. Because it can happen. Sudden death of a loved one can cause depression. Just being sacked can cause depression. Common insult from a loved one can cause depression. That's why I said there are levels of depression. So, one, everybody can be depressed. Two, every depressed person needs to be shown care, no matter the levels. Care. Number three, it is important to prioritize expert experience. Get an expert to help them through. It's not something you go to the doctor, not something you talk about. Okay, go to persons who have been trained in the art of handling. They can also help the individual. Okay, now, yeah, generally there are ways to treat that, but you take depression on case by case basis. Is it that he put on his money in the bank and the bank became bankrupt, the bank folded up, and so they're giving him his money in bits and pieces? That can also cause depression. Is it a downtime in his business? You need to understand all of these things. They can actually cause a form of depression. And so there's a general rule: show empathy, show love, try to distort their thoughts, take them out for picnic. Try to see reason to make them happy because they are sad within. So you must try to make them see reason to be happy.
Okay, apart from making them see reasons to be happy, is it also good for the person who is helping them do that also help build their self-confidence in themselves?
Okay, let's say it depends on the case. Self building self confidence is good if it is a relationship based depression.
Okay.
All right, I just told you a man, very loving husband, suddenly changed, and the wife was taken aback and was shocked. Of course, there's a tendency to think, am I not good enough for my husband? And so her mentality and her personality is being punctured. When going through the therapy, you also need to build your confidence. Now, if it's in business, you don't need the confidence in business. Okay,
Business.
you need just counseling, give them hope, let them understand that life is not a straight line. Okay, they can still bounce back, build their confidence and trust again. So it depends, but generally, at the root of every depression is the fact that they have lost belief in themselves
Okay.
to pull through
True.
in any form. They've lost that confidence to pull through. And so you need to identify with them to doing that. You need to be there with them to do that. Don't judge them that they're the reason why they fail. Even though you know they might be the reason why they fail, don't throw it to them at that point. And I must also say this, you that is trying to help them come out of depression, you need to be emotionally stable because they can spark, they can react, they can be aggressive, okay? They can want to provoke you unconsciously. So you need to be stable, not to react at every of their action.
Depression and one having a mental issues, are they same?
Now, they are both psychological problems. They are both in the mind. Okay. Now, depression, it depends on what you mean by mental problem. Is it having a like mental illness in
The
as in
mental,
mindness,
yeah,
as in
mental illness,
madness,
mental illness
or as
that,
in being mad?
we don't really call them mad. Those people they take to psychiatrist hospital.
Yeah, they're having
They're
issues
having
with their
issues with their
mind.
minds. Yeah,
Okay,
some
now it is different. That can be caused by anything. Now, a depressed mind can get to that point where they take to substances to forget the cause of their depression. And that is why there's the need for care and concern. Because if a young man whose business just nosedive, a lady whose partner just dumped, a man whose business just crumbled, may chose to take to substance with the intention of forgetting what it is that just happened. In doing that, it become addicted, become a psychological problem. So that event can degenerate to that if we don't curb it. Okay, so depression can lead them into substance abuse, into some vices that may now cause drastic or critical mental
mental
issues for
issues.
them. You get the point?
Yes.
But for depression, it's an impact and the initial reaction to take aback. At this point, it has not degenerated to having a mental crisis.
Crisis.
But it's just that their mind is being disturbed. Their thought pattern has been distorted. That is why it is not an illness, it's a disorder
Yes, it's other.
which can be rearranged with ease, love, and care. But if left to follow, it can degenerate to becoming a mental illness
Illness.
based on the choices they make afterwards.
Wow. Okay, sir. Is there any coping strategies one can use? Effective strategies that can be
The
used to
best
help
thing,
them.
number one thing we must do, go see a therapist. We must cultivate this idea of seeing professionals to give us that professional advice and guidance. It is key. Don't do self-medication, don't do self-treatment, don't call friends and family to become advisors. Pay what is necessary to go see a professional. They will speak with the person involved, know the cause of the depression, and guide them aright. But in case you want to do home service, which I do not subscribe to, like I said, you must show empathy, you must show them love. You mustn't be judgmental. You be available to them. Try to make them happy. Take them out. Okay. If he or she is your friend, just take them out. Okay. Because at that point, they lose interest in everything. At that point, nothing interests them again, not even their job. So don't bring up the things that they've lost interest about. No. Don't talk about job. Don't talk about church. Don't tell them they need a pastor to pray for them. No. What they need at that point is a counselor who can navigate them through, calm their nerves, speak lovingly to them, tell them how they're important despite the situation. Let them know that the value has not depreciated in any way by these happenings. So you start bringing moral booster in them, building their confidence in themselves. Let them see that, come, with this, you are better, or you are still good. And moreover, you're not the only person that this had happened to. You can take them one or two through experiences of person that had similar issues and they are standing strong today. After that, you can then diversify into what either to they love doing and start bringing that up.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
Now, is there any advice you can give to our society, I mean to people generally, as to help them not to fall into depression at any point in time?
Yes, like I said, depression actually hits people when the unexpected comes from the people we least expect, or from the places we least expect. I told us about a car. The car is built to have a shock absorber. When you are driving, you can run into potholes unexpectedly, and so it keeps you in the car stabilized. Now, the cure for depression is a stabilized life. Get information, get educated, get your purpose on track, get your priorities right, have a purpose and a goal for your life. Pursue your purpose. If it is relationship, yes, do not allow relationship to destroy your personality. Don't sell your individuality for relationship. Because the reason this is happening with ladies in particular, they forget about themselves all in the name of relationship. And so the impact is deep. Apart from the hurt, they start wondering, how do I start from? Where do I start from? My world is crumbled. Why would somebody live your life and your world is crumbled? It is wrong.
Yes.
So we need to be told, build your life. Be the commander of your destiny. You will feel pain because you are hurt. Not to the point of your life coming to an end. Why take your life when you are beautiful and fearfully made? You are the commander of your destiny. No man, no situation defines you. You define situation. That you are sacked from the office doesn't make you a failure. That your spouse leave you doesn't make you a failure. What men and what life defines you to be is not true. You are what you define yourself to be. So we must arm ourselves ready for these things. You must learn to shake off these things. But you can't shake off these things if you're not armed before they come. So go back to the drawing board. Have a meeting with yourself. Let's assume my spouse leave me now. What do I fall back on? What if my office asks me to go by Monday? What happens to me? What if my dear one dumps me? What happens? What if my best of friends turn their back at me right now? What will I do? This is how to think. Life is not a straight graph. It's an undulating land. It can be high today and be low tomorrow. So you must think deep and prepare well. Ready for the unexpected. We don't wish it happen, but peradventure it happen. Have a shock absorber so you can shake it off with time and bounce back.
Wow. It's a very wonderful one, sir.
Thanks
for having you here. Dear viewers, you have seen and you have understood where we're drawing, where we're coming from. It is good for you to understand this, or for you to have an overview of what we keep talking about. And it's good to also apply it in your daily lives. Thank you for watching. Kindly share, subscribe, always to this channel. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Shalom, greeting in Jesus' precious name.
Amen.